And I just completed reading a post of a friend of mine, Zoe Martin. And she was sharing her own journey. And she made a statement almost at the very end of the post. And in the statement, she said, "We love each other, but sometimes we don't like each other." And when I smiled when I read it, and it felt so true to me. I have been there. I have had that experience. People that I know I love, sometimes I don't like them very much. Sometimes I love myself, and sometimes I don't like myself very much either. And I was thinking about, how does that translate in life? What happens? What does it look like when we love someone but we don't like them very much? And it kind of lined itself up with a book that was recommended to me by Dr. Jeannie Fritsch called Leadership and Self-Deception. And the subtitle is called Getting Out of the Box. And I think about how self-deception can be kind of an underlying piece to, I don't like them very much. That feeling of being so judgmental about the behavior, the choices, the way the other person is being in relation to you or in relation to somebody else. And I'll make this an I story. How sometimes when I experience that, a story starts running in my mind. I have a story about what they probably did, what they're probably thinking. And then I feel almost like I'm on a horse that starts running away. And if you ever had that experience, you know what that feels like. It's like all of a sudden things are good, and then all of a sudden you have no control. And things just go. The horse just goes, and it isn't listening. And I think about that very conscious effort that is called on within me to rein that horse in, to rein in those runaway thoughts. Because when I allow them to run, when I allow them to play out in my mind, I am practicing self-deception. And I am not able in that moment, well, I'm able, but I am not practicing leadership of myself. I am not being the one who has vision and inspires and guides and problem solves. Instead, I'm looking outward, and I am blaming the other in my thoughts. Regardless of what I say with my words, I'm blaming the other. And so I allow myself to be deceived. I allow myself to deceive myself that the problem is out there. If only that other person would do this, if only they wouldn't say that, if only. When I do that, I'm lying to myself. I am deceiving myself. I am creating an illusion that makes something outside of myself responsible for my own inner being and my own inner state. And so today on Mindful Monday, I find between Zoe's quote about I love them, but I don't like them very much sometimes, and thinking about leadership and self-deception, I am really reflecting for myself where in my own personal life, where do I practice self-deception? Where in my stories of my relationships, where in my stories of my relationships with my students, am I painting myself into a box with thoughts that make it all about the other? Instead of asking myself, what can I do differently? How can I change this situation? What can I do? What can I think? What can I say that will redirect and re-energize the relationship, the situation, the focus? Where can I assume responsibility for the outcome? So today on Mindful Monday, I ask you to ask yourself, take a look. Is there any place in your life where you practice self-deception? I know the answer was a surprise for me. Have a wonderful evening.